I would now like to invite Dr. Jaclyn Lee, Senior HR Director of SUTD. Jaclyn manages human resources and organizational development in her current role. She has over 25 years of experience, of which more than 15 years were in senior HR leadership roles. Jaclyn is an organizational transformation specialist and possesses a PhD in the management in the area of cultural transformation using digital tools. Let's welcome her to give us the opening address. Jaclyn, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So let's keep that same energy going, okay? You're going to have 3 more hours of listening to all these speeches, okay? Right, so good afternoon, Mr. Ethan Tan, Executive Director of SHRI, esteemed panel of speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our very first SUTD SHRI Leadership Forum, which is going to address leadership in the fast-changing technological landscape. The forum marks the beginning of a very good collaboration between the 2 institutions, one aiming to change the world through design and technology, and the other institution aimed at improving best practices in human resources. We hope this signifies the start of a very good partnership for the 2 institutions to continue to bring thought leadership and design thinking to both the private and public sectors in Singapore. Now, I'd like to begin this forum by actually giving a very quick overview of the things that are changing in today's world, digitization and all that. And hopefully with this introduction, I'm able to start you guys thinking about the topics that our 3 esteemed panelists or esteemed speakers are going to embark on. So I'm going to begin by talking a little bit about, okay, global trends. Now, as all of you know, we're living in a very highly complex world. You know that now the world is more connected than ever before. And cross-border bandwidth, I'm not sure whether any one of you realized, has grown 45 times compared to 2005. So in a matter of 10 years, bandwidth has increased 45 times. Flows of information, searches, communication, video, transactions, and intra-company traffic continues to grow. My 18-year-old daughter is studying for her A-levels. She's listening to her iPhone, she's WhatsApping her friend, she's watching YouTube videos and studying at the same time. I say, how do you do 4 things at the same time? My daughter said, Mom, welcome to the digital economy. This is how we function, 4 or 5 things at the same time. So that's a challenge for any parent. Okay, and we realize that now there are 5.2 billion users on the global mobile phones. That's quite scary, 5.2 billion. So can you imagine the kind of information flow that's going around? Okay, so next, digital platforms. The increasing use of digital platforms are used to manage international operations in a very lean and efficient way. You notice now we have Skype. You don't have to fly and see your colleagues all the time. I remember 20 years ago, now you know how old I am, when I was studying in varsity, I remember there was no internet, there was no handphone. We used snail mail. How many of you know a snail mail? Okay, so I remember it takes me 3 months to write a letter to my mom, and by the time she responds back, it was 3 months later. Many things have happened, okay? And I could only talk to her once in 3 months. So can you imagine in a span of 20 years, we are now so globally connected. Okay, so we're selling fast. You notice the rise of e-platforms, e-commerce on the platform. I now do about 70% of my shopping online. Sometimes I don't want to buy a handbag, but the handbag screams at me. I'll be kind of happily doing my work, and then Gucci starts telling me, buy me, buy me. Okay, so this is what's happening in the digitally connected world. I spend more money than I should be spending. Okay, there are new jobs created by the internet. 2.6 jobs for every job that is lost. So that's interesting on the internet. Big data, data analytics, cybersecurity. There's a shift now towards virtual work. There's a massive amount of talent now on the internet. How many of you are familiar with Upwork? Okay, we have a few enlightened people here. Anyway, not that all of you are unenlightened, but Upwork is the biggest talent platform that has freelancers, over about, I think, a couple of million freelancers, specializing in all kinds of skills. So you can actually go to that platform and find any talent you want. So that's how fantastic now global online platforms are. So we predict by 2025, online talent platforms, it's going to boost GDP by 2.7 trillion. That's a lot of money. Okay, so with the future state of work, democratization of work, so we know that now workforce is going to be more agile, responsive, purpose-built network, there will be new employment relationships. The kind of relationships that we think in traditional employment is not going to work anymore. No longer, gone are the days where we say that we come to work the office at 9, we go back home at 6 o'clock. So a lot of times as HR practitioners, as business owners, the way we view relationships are going to change, the way we work, okay? For example, IBM has a global workforce of maybe 100,000, but if they look out of the platform, if you look at Upwork, there's about 5 million talents on the internet. So this is how work is going to change. So now, technological empowerment, now it's going to transform the way we live. As I shared, my daughter is doing 5 things at one go. And my son is playing video games and kind of online gaming with 5 other people all over the world and talking at the same time. So machine learning, 3D printing, mobile wearable devices, individual empowerment is going to happen. Okay, so there's a fundamental shift now in the way we manage our workforce. No longer do we manage the workforce, now how do we organize talents, okay? It's now about organizing talent. How do we kind of look at the talents we have and organize them into areas that will best fit their skill or best fit the organization's needs? For example, we shift from now in SUTD functional to multidisciplinary teams. When we first started the university about 5 years ago, I remembered we were giving admission talks and parents would be looking at me, what is multidisciplinary teams? They couldn't understand. And they kind of thought it was very risky to put their child in an institution that kind of mixes everything up. But now you realize the importance of such work teams, because when you go out to the working world, everything is multidisciplinary. So, example, SUTD's multidisciplinary curriculum and programs integrate design thinking and engineering together. Okay, so basically how do we now as leaders lead and manage in this fast-changing landscape? First thing, effective leadership, which is the key to success. Celeste is going to share with us her research on emotional intelligence and effective leadership behaviors. A new way of thinking and rethinking about how we organize our teams and work processes. Lucien, who is going to share with us about design thinking and how it transforms organizations. Digital tools for employee engagement. Rita is going to talk to us about how Fujitsu uses Internet of Things and all kinds of technology. Right, so basically, I end my speech by saying that if you look at the future workplace, it's going to look like this. Looks pretty confusing, right? So if you look at the whole workplace of the future, it's about looking at culture, employee engagement, to really look at the way we craft our vision and mission, because it's shifting and changing. The new workplace is going to have digital HR. Now, we're going to have now, because of digitization, we're going to help our employees, those in the 60s, the baby boomers, the veterans, to be able to adapt to new technologies. I once had a boss who would dictate his emails to his secretary and had the secretary type into the email and send out. And whenever there's someone who comes, writes the email to him, she has to print out all his emails so that he can read and transcribe them. So this is not a very effective way of working. So even those of us in that generation has learned new technology. So HR has to help them to adapt. Design thinking, very, very now prominent. How do we use design thinking to re-look at our work processes? And the gig economy. So the gig economy is really about different kind of talent platforms to maximize talent. New HR, look at HR capabilities, people analytics, which is the new buzzword, and leadership and careers will have to change with the way organizations change for the future. Okay, so with this, I shall end my speech, and I would like to now thank you very much and invite Mr. Ethan Tan from SHRI to give us a few words. Thank you.